What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Yes, another Shadow Systems XR920 video on my channel. I have plans for this. There's something I wanted to do to this. The idea popped in my head a few months ago. I did a little research. I kind of didn't do enough research, but what I did find out was that, well, what I wanted to do was, or is I wanted to put a Radian Afterburner-Ramjet on this, since I do have an extra one, meaning I have one on a pistol that I don't shoot that much. My OD Green Glock 19. I put the Radian on this thinking I was gonna be able to, get some quality range time in with it, but I actually never ended up, since putting this on a few months ago, I really never ended up taking this out to the range. Let me show you guys. We are clear. Get those formalities out of the way. Nothing in the chamber. So yeah, I never shot. Look, well, not that clean. Maybe I did shoot it. I don't think I shot it. Maybe I zeroed this or something, but I never trained with this. It's been a few months and the Radian's just sitting on here doing nothing. So I figured, you know what, maybe I could put a Radian on my Shadow Systems, because I do have two Radians. One on a gun that I shoot a lot, one on a gun that I really don't shoot. The reason why I don't shoot this is, basically this is a Glock 17 with the TLR X7. I don't have a holster that would fit this, and I've been doing a lot of training outdoors, so I've been drawing from outside the waistband and inside the waistband. I rarely go to the indoor range to where you're just shooting off of a bench, where you're picking it up and you're shooting at your target, right? So I'm usually outdoors running drills, running and gunning or whatever, and I don't have a holster for this. So thinking maybe that's why I haven't really been shooting this that often. So once I take the Radian off of this, it'll go back down to a 19 with TLR, and I do have a couple holsters for this, so I will be getting some training in with this once I do take the Radian off. But yes, this Radian is gonna come off. The black Radian I'm gonna put back on here. The black Radian actually started off on my Glock, my Glock 19. So once I put that on here, the bronze one is gonna go on to the Shadow System, because I will be replacing this bronze barrel with that. So I think that'll probably aesthetically I think it'll pop aesthetically, because I opted for bronze for this gun, because when I was getting this stippled and Cerakoted, I requested bronze Cerakote, and company's interpretation of bronze is a little different, so I didn't know if the bronze was going to come out looking like this or not. So I picked up a bronze Radian thinking that it would aesthetically go with it, but you can see the difference right there. It's not bad. I didn't really care about it, but now that I have this, I'm going to swap this Radian and the bronze barrel over to the Shadow Systems. And this is where I ran into, not an issue, but something that I didn't know that I was going to have to think ahead of time about before I thought about this. So let's get into that. All right, so we are in California. This is a CA Compliant Shadow Systems, and we do have to have loaded chamber indicators on our firearms. And this is the LCI. And as you can see, the LCI protrudes out from the slide and into the barrel slightly. So that would be an issue. And if you go to the Radian website and you go to the Afterburner-Ramjets, you will see, you'll see your Glock, scroll past your Glock Afterburner-Ramjets, you'll see your SIG, scroll past your SIG, and you will see that they actually make Afterburner-Ramjets for the Shadow System. So you click on that, and your information is going to come up. And if you scroll all the way, not all the way down, but let me see, midway down, you will see this paragraph right here. This product is not compatible with Shadow System models that feature a loaded chamber indicator, LCI. The Ramjet barrel does not feature a cut for the OEM LCI and will not seat with it in place. All right, so I saw that and I was like, okay, there must be a plan B. What can I do to put, let me see, to put this Radian Afterburner-Ramjet, throw that right there, into the shadow system. So first option I thought about was just totally removing this. And if I totally remove that, yes, it'll work, but I will get a lot of carbon blow up onto my forward facing glass, or I guess it would be the objective glass. I don't know if it's the same as scopes. So I would probably see what everybody who uses an SRO, which hangs over the ejection port a little more. People complain about the SRO getting a lot of carbon on their glass. So I know that just totally removing this, I would get a lot of blow up or blow back. I don't know where they blow up onto my glass. Now, full disclosure, running this stock at around the 850 to 900 round mark. I'm a little over 1,000 right now. I started to see carbon buildup on the glass. So I'm assuming that a lot of that, most of that was coming up through the LCI from maybe this little portion where it's not completely closed. So you will, if you have the CA Compliant shadow systems with an LCI or any other state where you have to have an LCI, I'm just gonna let you know around maybe 800-900 rounds, you will start to see a little bit on your screen. Now, what I was seeing, okay, you can see my front sight. What I saw was like a V coming up, like on the window of carbon buildup. I started to see it early, and then later on in the day when I took my last pistol training, it was pretty prominent on there. And all I did was took my shirt and wiped it off, and it came right off. So just FYI, if you put enough rounds through this, you might start to see carbon build up on your glass coming out of the port of the stock LCI. Now, what my remedy is for that, since like I said, I'm not going to just totally remove that, because that would just be allowing a lot of carbon blow up onto my glass. So what I did was, and I had this idea months ago. So I sent an email to a company called Lurch Manufacturing right here. So I sent an email to them because what they do is they actually make plugs for firearms that have LCIs. And back in April, when I contacted them, they didn't have anything for the shadow systems. And they told me that they were quote unquote working on it. So and once they were done with it, they would, send me an email letting me know if they had time to do that. So that was back in April when I sent them that email. I say maybe 3 weeks to a month ago, I was just randomly checking on their website, and I actually saw that they did actually complete manufacturing of their LCI for shadow systems. I didn't get the email. I wasn't really tripping on that. You guys are busy over there. But shout out to them. Shout out to Lurch Manufacturing. And this is what the LCI plug for the shadow systems looks like. And this is what you would have to install in order to complete this project if you're going to go this route with this is a Glock 19 of course, obviously Glock 19 shadow system, Glock 19 Radian Afterburner-Ramjet. So if you're going to go this route with LCI shadow systems, you are going to have to get a plug, an LCI plug. As far as I know right now, Lurch Manufacturing, they are the only ones who have this. So let's get into the old switcheroo. All right, first let's get this up out of here. I don't think I check this one. Yeah, we are clear. We are going to get that up out of there. And here we go. I don't know if this will work with the, this is the actual Radian compressor, their proprietary recoil spring and guide rod. I'm not sure if it'll fit, but let's see. It fit on the actual shadow system, but let's see. Probably should have left this on before I did all that. This didn't seem that tight. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure if it's 15 or 18 inch-pounds. And here we go with this. So I'll just use the nylon to get this off. The nylon. Got some carbon lock. We're gonna put you over there. We are clear. And this is just a stock Glock spring rod and recoil spring. I'm sorry, guide rod recoil spring. Let's see how easily this comes off. Oh, here we go. Proof that I never really shot this one that often. So might as well go back over here. Let me see. Could use some cleaning. I'll clean that. That will be not on video. All right, here we go. We need to prep the patient for the transplant. We are clear. Oh, see, forgot I need a magazine in here. Hold on. California, right? There we go. Still clear. Now I can pull the trigger. Let me see. Okay, so I'm going to have to remove the optic to get under the plate to remove the LCI, which means I am going to have to re-zero this again. This is not a 10. That may be a 5. Oh, actually, I'm on 15 right now. It's going to be a 10. There's a spring in here. Let's see, I don't think. There's no instructions that come with this, so I don't know if I'm supposed to leave the spring in there or not. Put that in. Love it. So there we go. Spring is supposed to come out. And you see your plug. Test fit. There we go. Not too bad. So while I got all of these taken apart, I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning, and we don't need to see that part because this is not about that. So I'll just cut to it. All right, so fast forward about a week and bam, what is this? This is a recoil spring plate adapter, or adapter plate, that I had to pick up from Strike Industries. This little piece right here is a step that I forgot about. So Gen 1 through 3 recoil spring guide rod, Gen 4 frame. Kind of forgot that the shadow system was based off the Gen 4, so this is the issue. Never gonna work like that. It's like the guy she told you not to worry about, send her back to you, and now you've got this. So in order for it to work, let's get this baby out of here. There are a few different companies. This is a company I chose to go with, Strike Industries. Can't go wrong with them. Got a few things from them that have worked flawlessly. So all you got to do with this adapter, slide it in, and you can hear that. It's metal. It's not polymer, it's a metal. So you throw that in. Where is my, here is my barrel. And let's get the, we're gonna have to go with the, can't go with the same guide rod and recoil spring. And there we go. But I'm actually not gonna use this one. This one is the, that one is the one that comes from Radian. That's their compressor. This one is 15 pound, and I'm gonna keep that in this firearm. I'm gonna go with a standard Glock. What is it? What are they, 17 pounds? So I'm gonna go with a standard Glock 17 pound recoil spring. And there we go. Now we shouldn't have any problem. Nice fit right there, flush. We are good. Let's go 15-inch pounds. All right. We are looking good so far. Now let's get the rest put back together. All right, so let's get this show on the road. I personally don't have a problem with gunsmithing, changing parts around and all that. I know my way around a toolbox, so a lot of that stuff is not an issue for me. Most of these guns I'm dealing with, well, 2 of them I'm dealing with, they are not anything I carry. I actually carry this in the winter because it's a Glock 19 with the Radian Afterburner-Ramjet, so it's essentially a Glock 17. So this is like a winter carry for me. All I'm doing is, for this one, all I'm doing is switching out this bronze Radian and putting this black Radian back on it. This Radian was actually originally on this firearm before I brought the bronze and switched it over. So this gun and this combo, this setup, has maybe 2,000 rounds through it. So I will take it back out and shoot it some more, but I don't have to put a couple thousand round break in through it like I normally would anything that I'm going to carry. There we go. Glock 19, Radian Glock 19, winter carry with the ACSS reticle. Try to line it up with the camera. There we go. Look at that parallax. All right, that's that. Let's get this baby together. I am going to need, and have to find the original recoil spring for that, and here it is. Not a Radian. This is the package that that recoil spring came in. So I just threw this stock Glock recoil spring in here. Let's get this baby on there. It's not in the right slot. There we go. Everything has been cleaned and lubed, which is the good thing. Back to a regular Glock 19 with a TLR-7X. Where we are with the brightness, there we are. This is the HS407 hollow sign. Can we get that? There we are. Yeah, not something I would, oh no, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't carry. I can actually carry this because I carry a Glock 19C with the TLR-7. So, and I do have a few different holsters. So if I wanted to, I could put this on my CCW and actually carry this as well as a Glock 19C. But I don't really see that happening. And so let's get to what we came here for. Alrighty, let's do it. Fun part is ahead of us, taking it to the range to see how well it works. I think it'll work. You guys think it'll work? Think I'm doing too much to this already? For some people, questionable company with all their break-in period, and a lot of people who have been having issues with this particular company and malfunctions. Think I'm doing too much? Let me know. All right, let me get the correct torque. If it doesn't work, I'll just go back to how I had it. Like I said, I'm having an issue with wrenching on stuff. So if I had to go back to the way I had it, then so be it. I'll throw everything back around. Set the bag in there. Doesn't look like it's getting hung up. Hold on, let me clean that up. Another one there. Get this baby in there. Just get it snug. And then I have to research what the inch-pound torque value for this is. Not all the way torqued down, but this is the final product. Radian Shadow Systems XR920. We will take it out to the range to see what it do. That's pretty bright, but there you guys go. Equivalent to Glock 19X with a Radian and a Glock 45X. Wait, yeah, Glock 45. Yeah. All right, tell me how you guys feel about this. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Doing too much to this, or is it just enough? Well, we'll know if I've done too much if we go to the range and I'm starting to get malfunctions, because you saw my other videos. I haven't had any malfunctions through the first 1,000 rounds plus, a little over 1,000 rounds. The one malfunction I had was a magazine. It wasn't this particular magazine, but it was a spring in the magazine. And I'm assuming that dirt or sand got into the spring and the spring was not pushing rounds up and it created a malfunction. But let me know, is this a shadowsystems? All right, people, thanks. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you hung out this long, let me know about the build.